Just bear with me while I make sure that everything's working okay. I'd really like to wait until somebody joins so that I can make sure. Aha. Hi Tina, thank you for coming and thank you for modding. Can you hear me okay? Great, thank you. Okay, right, I'm gonna get started then, even though nobody else has joined us yet. They can either rewind and catch up on fast speed. Oh, hello, Ania. Thank you. Okay, so because we've got somebody other than Tina who has joined. Oh, Susie. Yay. Right. Okay. People are starting to join. That's brilliant. Thank you so much. Right. Okay. This is going to be fun. Oh, brilliant. Thanks, Tina. Right. Okay. Obviously, I can't keep an eye on the chat. So if I miss saying hello to anybody, I apologise. I will say hello to people as and when I check back on chat, but I don't want to spend all my time scrolling through chat to see who I've missed. So apologies if I miss anybody. You are all appreciated. So let me turn my camera around. In fact, I will flip it over if I can. Yes. So it's not an unboxing as such because I wanted to get everything out and check it works okay before I actually start, because I didn't want to waste time on the live doing all that. So the first thing I will say is, well, let me just make sure everybody knows what we're talking about here. This is the Resin 4-in-1 sanding and polishing machine. Just very briefly, I did buy it through Amazon UK. However, it got imported via Amazon US. So the first thing I want to point out to the UK viewers is it does not come with a UK plug adapter. Now, I thought it would come with one of those that's like a shaving adapter where it's got two round prongs, but it doesn't. It comes with this. And I cannot find a UK adapter that will take that shape of plug. However, it also comes with just a basic USB plug. So I am able to charge it. So all is not lost. Hello, Kat, Johnny. I can't see anyone else I've missed at the moment. Okay, now then, I've had a brief look through the instructions. And of course, all instruction manuals say please read carefully. And I hate reading instructions. So I have just had a brief look through. So let's tell you first what it comes with. Obviously, you'll have seen this on other reviews anyway, more professional reviews. So I'll quickly whiz through this bit. You've got your handheld piece. the actual motor, the actual sanding. Then you've got the base for some of the work that you will do to secure that in place. You've got this platform which you may or may not need, so it's detachable. You've got this dust guard, is it? It's for when you're doing your polishing anyway, or grinding. So it comes with these 3 wheels. That's the one to attach your sandpapers to. It's got a grinding wheel, which, looking at the instructions, I won't be using. That's more for when you really need to dig into your piece to make to change the shape of your piece. And then you've got your polisher. So I'm going to put that one out of the way. I'm not going to need that. So for some of your pieces, it does actually say when you're using your 3-inch wheel, you must use the base to help with stability and help with the use of your wrists. And for the 2-inch, sorry, it's got 2-inch and 3-inch pads. I think for both of them, you attach it to this wheel. But if you're using your 3-inch, you're doing it on a bigger piece. So that's when it says use this stand for stability. If you're only using your 2-inch piece, you can just use it handheld. I'm confused now, actually, now that I'm talking. Oh, well, never mind. We'll figure it out. Okay, I'll get them out of the way so that I can show you the sandpapers. So you've got a bunch of 2-inch and a bunch of 3-inch, which I've separated out into their different grades ready. Some of them are not printed correctly, so you have to just kind of figure out what size they are. And if you don't know sandpaper gradients, you might not know, just looking at that on its own, you might not know what the missing number is. So you can kind of hopefully figure it out by comparing the numbers on different pieces. But another way to compare, if you have got multiple grades available, is you can kind of figure out by feeling. You can feel that that one, which is a 60, is coarser than that one, and that one is coarser than that one. So clearly that must be a number that's in between them two. So because you do have a selection of grades, you can make that comparison and figure out where it fits. But if it was just a piece on its own, you wouldn't necessarily know that. So your coarsest being your lowest number up to your softest being your highest number. Just check the chat. Hello, Amy. I can't see if I've missed anybody else. I do apologise again. I haven't set up a system for letting me know if there's any questions, unfortunately. So when I finish doing the demonstration, I will go back through the chat, and if I see any questions, then I'll answer them. If not, I'll go back through the chat afterwards and put my answers in the comments when it goes to replay. Good idea, Susie. Write it on the back with a marker to save time looking later. Right, okay. The piece I'm going to work on is one of my coffee cup coasters. It's a half done one, so it's not just that I did a really bad job, it is only a half done one. The theory being that this middle piece, that I made a barrier and I put this middle piece on separately so that I could make a clear cut, but then the idea is to finish it off by doing another coat around the edges, which would then flood over and make a top coat for the middle. but I deliberately kept some pieces like this for sanding practice. Now, I'm not sure how clear it is to you on camera, so the way that I'm going to demonstrate the before and after is to make an imprint into this piece of clay for you. I've really thought this through, you know. Well, no, I am, because that's not made a good imprint. I might have to stand up and get some proper leverage. It's not very good, but you can just make out that obviously, so this was reversed, so this side is this side, so you can see there's quite a clear indent there, and then the edge of the coaster here has made a slight imprint. Here you can see some dimples where the gold leaf here is really jutting up. So hopefully you, when I do it afterwards, will be able to see that the gold leaf has smoothed out. Maybe this edge has smoothed out a bit. I'm not expecting to get this brown bit fully flush with the level of the clear. So there might still be a bit of a difference in height between this line and this line, but hopefully this line will be not as obvious. That's the best way I could think to demonstrate the state of that as it is now. Right, just having a quick look at chat. Maria, I'm not sure if I've said hello to you yet. Serenity Crafts by Maria. So hello. Cat. Yeah, make sure your hair's tied up. I'm going to be putting a mask and goggles on as well. Oh, thank you so much for joining. Right, so I was thinking about whether I'm going to start with using the base or not. So whether to start with the 3-inch papers. I'm just grabbing one. I've not necessarily decided which grading I'm going to use yet, but whether to start with, yeah, I think I'll start with the 3-inch wheel. So I'm going to take that off. Oh, I see. That was already on. So if you are using the 2-inch wheel with the 2-inch pads, you can do it handheld. If you're using the 3-inch wheel with the 3-inch pads, then it tells you to use the base. So I'm going to use the base to start with. And it does show you doing it with the base, with this support piece attached. I'm not sure whether I want to do that. Now I'm going to have to turn it round because I am left-handed. Don't hold it against me. So if I'm just trying to figure out how it would feel holding it at the moment. So I thought that was supposed to support your piece with that flush up against it. Oh, hang on, it's because I haven't put this on yet. See, we're learning as we go. But But I don't, I think I'm just going to start like that, to be honest. Now, to decide which grade I'm going to use first, definitely going to use a very coarse one, but I don't know whether to. Just before I carry on, actually, something else I wanted to mention is they've not been consistent with how many pads they provide. So with the 60, they've provided 3. So 60, 80, 100 and 180, they've provided 3. With, actually, I've miscounted. I think because the different thicknesses, they looked like there was different numbers of pieces. The only difference in the 3-inch ones is there's 3 of everything up to 1,500. Then there's 4 for 2,000 and 4 for 5,000. 1, 2, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 4. Same with the 2-inch ones. So there's 3 of everything except there's an extra one of your buffing ones. Apologies there. I've miscounted them because of the different thicknesses. Okay. So I'm going to start with I think 100 feels coarse enough. And that's the 3rd one up. So the 3rd coarsest. I'm going to try that. But if it doesn't feel like it's taking enough off, then can always go to a coarser one and then come back up through the 100. Let me just take the chart. Oh, no, I'm very prepared, Maria. Oh, thank you. Good camera angle. Brilliant. I have safety gloves. And most of my nails are pretty bitten as well, to be honest. I think I only need 1 glove on. Right, mask is going on. And goggles. Do I sound like Darth Vader? Right, okay, let's get into it. I wasn't really prepared with the water. I don't have a little spray bottle. So I think I'm going to have to just dab some paper into a bowl of water. Now, do I water the piece or do I water the paper? This is going to be awkward if I'm going to get kitchen paper stuck to my sandpaper, aren't I? This is not going to go well. Maybe I should just... Obviously, we're dealing with electrics here, so be careful you don't get any water into the mechanisms. I might have to figure out a different way of wetting them. Anyway, here goes. So press the button for 2 seconds. I'm going to start it on the slowest speed to just see how that feels. How do I get it to actually start? Oh, that's not a good start. These gloves are actually quite slippy. That's why I dropped it at first. They feel, I can't grip with them. So, luckily this has got a handy handle, so I'm managing with that. But in a moment, I think I might just take this off and just put some nitrile on. But my thumb was getting quite close to it there. Wow, that is feeling brilliant actually. So it does actually say in the care instructions to clean off after every section, every piece. That hasn't actually scratched it as bad as I expected it to have done. Let me get a piece of paper or something behind it. Put my... Yeah, there is a bit of scratching, but it's not as bad as I expected. I'm just going to take that out of my way while I clean this in case I accidentally knock anything and turn it on. It says to clean with a brush, but I just haven't got a brush to hand right at this moment, so I'll just do the best I can with some paper. So that was 100, and that is feeling pretty smooth. There's still a bit of a knobbliness there, so actually I will do it a bit longer with the 100. Now the nitrile glove obviously won't protect me much from getting cut, but it's still better than nothing, and it's still better than not being able to grip the piece properly. Yep, I'm using water. Have I missed anything? Oh no, Tina, you got thrown out. Lefty's trying to take over the world. Oh dear. Right. Okay, mask and glasses back on. Yeah, I need a spray bottle next time. Yeah. I think if I keep going, I can actually take it down to the level of the clear, which would defeat the object of this coaster. But because this is a video about sanding, not about the coaster, I think I will actually do that. Just while I think about it, it does say in the book about wet sanding, wetting it helps keep the heat down, and the friction heat against resin can make your resin go soft. So to prevent overheating and to prevent your resin go soft, then you do want to do wet sanding. I don't know if at some point I should change my sanding pad. I don't know whether, well, obviously at some point it'll be, the gradient will be rubbed away and it'll be too smooth, but I don't know at what point that is, so I'm just going to carry on as I am for a moment. It can be really hard to control, especially when I'm going to the bottom there and I'm wanting to sand this bottom more. It does kind of feel like it's taking it out of my hands slightly. Right, I'm gonna just dip this in this water now and try and fully clean it. It's not quite down to the level of the clear, but it's good enough. Right, I'll just check that again while I clean this up. It's showing quite low battery already, so let me just turn it fully off for a minute. While I clean up, I'll just stick it back on charge. I checked the charge on it when I received it a couple of weeks ago, so it hasn't been used until now, but still it had lost the tiniest bit of charge before I even started. So while I'm talking about that, so there's an adapter hole, but the USB adapter hole is there on the back. Right, okay, so let's get some of this mess cleaned up and get my bin. I'll have to change that water. I'm going to use baby white. I'm seeing the scratch marks are much better now. Yes, that's feeling much better. So now we have to go up the gradients, and there's quite a lot of gradients to go through, so apologies if this live ends up really long, but I did want to show the whole process from first getting everything out of the box all the way to finishing it. So if you can't stay all the time, I understand. That's a shame, you can't keep the charger in. The charger hole is just underneath the base there, so never mind. Right. Yeah, handy bit of kit. It's my first time ever sanding was that video that went out last night, and that was using our normal DIY sander, which has to be plugged into the mains, and ideally you need to sand outside, but because this is such a small piece of kit and doesn't have to be plugged in, you can pretty much do it anywhere. Ideally I wouldn't like to do it inside, but I'm only doing it when I've got this room available for use for a number of days where the pets aren't allowed in here, full stop, and my daughter's not going to be here for quite a long time, so there's plenty of time for any sand to settle and get cleaned up before my daughter comes again. Right, so I'm going to try and get a move on just so that we can see the whole process, and obviously if it's too much you can always come back on the when it goes on to replay to see the end result. Not quite getting that fully centered. That'll have to do. Right, I'll just go grab some more water as well before I start. Good boy, Jasper. Good boy. Right, I've grabbed 3 bowls of water so I don't have to run out every time. Oh, hello, Gertie. No problem. Cat, yeah, lurking. Don't worry, I'm a lurker too. Right, I shall get a move on. So this is the 180 gradient. Oh, I haven't made sure it's fully suctioned down. I'm not sure how long I need to do it for, really. I'm not trying to sand more off, am I? I'm trying to bring up the smoothness now, so I'm not sure how long I need to do it for, but see how difficult that was with me doing it one-handed. And now I have got an error flashing, a flashing P. That meant I was pressing in too hard. They could detect there was too much pressure. So that was my fault. I'll just clean that off a little. Right, I don't think it should need more than a few seconds at each grade, to be honest. So onto the 320 now is the next size up. $600. Yeah, I think you need to do it longer with the first gradient because you need to get it as smooth as you're wanting it to start with. And then the rest of it is just polishing it up rather than needing to take more off. So I think that's why I spent longer with that first gradient and I'm only spending a few seconds with the subsequent ones. Oh, I haven't wet it again. Get a dry piece of paper. So that's how it's looking so far after 1, 2, 3, 4 grades. This is 1000. Oh, it is feeling really smooth. It's just waiting for the shine to come up. I seem to have lost connection to the chat. So I hope the stream itself is still going. We're on to a really smooth piece now, 1500. Okay, we're on to 2000 now, and this is the second to last one. I wonder whether the shine will only come up when we actually do the polishing. Too much pressure warning again. I wonder whether I should start using that now and maybe just turn it around to do the different sides. I'll try that. Thank you. Yeah. I've got barely any dust coming off now. That is really smooth. I'm really impressed. And I brought 3 bowls of water and I don't even need them because we're doing less dusty work. Let's get this a wipe off. Then new piece. I'll stick that back on. Actually, I'll get my paper on first. So 5,000, the actual I don't know whether it's called the polishing piece one or not because we've got the polishing wheel to do yet, but the softest one actually Let me water it first. Right, so we've come to the end of the sanding part. So I'm just going to wait for that to dry so that we can see how it looks once dry, because obviously when something's wet it kind of hides the scratches and things, hides the dust, and then when it dries, that's when we'll see what it really looks like. So I'm just going to stick this back on charge for a minute. And then for doing the polishing wheel, I'll have to turn it around because otherwise the guard will be in my way. Let's get a baby wipe. Let me get my box. So that is what it's looking like now. Just a bit cloudy. Let's see. I don't know about the lighting, I'm sorry. I wish I'd have taken a photo after every stage, and then when I come to when the video goes on replay, I wonder whether I'd be able to edit it to add in screenshots at every stage so we can actually remember the progress. I don't know, but I haven't done, so it's tough luck now anyway, isn't it? Let's just check the chat. Cat. Yeah, Cat. My initial intention was to do an actual review, but obviously it's not a professional one because I'm an amateur, but also from the fact that they haven't sent it me to review, they haven't sponsored me, so it is a review still, but more from the angle of this is my first time using it, let's learn together, rather than an official review. But of course, if they see the video and they appreciate what I've done, hopefully they would bear me in mind for future reviews, even if I haven't reached the milestone of subscribers and whatever at whatever point they bring out a new product. I actually said I want the new curing machine that Susie did on her video. Sally did the curing, the Resin G3. And I said to my partner, because it's my birthday coming up and Christmas coming up, so but the thing is, if I go buying things myself all the time, there's not going to be there's not going to be anything that they can send to me that I don't already have and that I won't have already used and therefore sort of reviewed anyway. Obviously, there'll always be new products coming out, but it would be nice, because obviously, as you know, my channel's still quite small. I don't know how long it's going to take me to get to the level where they would normally start sending you free stuff, but it's probably going to take a while. It'd be nice if they saw this and appreciated what I'd done anyway. Right, okay. I am going to get my instruction book back out to check this next stage. So, as I said before, grinding wheel, that grey one, needs to be used with the base suitable for curved surface modelling, such as grinding and shaping the surface of spherical or oval objects. So coming down to the cotton buffing wheel, as shown in the picture, it needs to be used with the base suitable for curved, well, I'm not doing curved anyway, such as polishing the surface of spherical or oval objects. So I am interpreting that these are more for doing globes or skulls or whatever, but I'm going to try it anyway. So I interpret you can either just go to the point where you've done your 5000 sanding and then top coat as normal, but let's just see whether I can avoid doing a top coat and bring it up to a shine with the polishing wheel anyway. Let me just see if I can show you how thin I got it. So on this side I got this level right down to the clear, and on this side I've just left it slightly up. That's my fault with me not doing these movements evenly. So when I press this onto here, this is the side that had the really deep indent. This is the side I've got completely smooth. So when we come to do that again at the end, hopefully we will not see any indents at all, either on the rim, apart from a little bit on this side because I haven't finished it off, and you won't see any gold leaf indents, hopefully. Right, how to attach the well, I need this back for a start, don't I? Oh, there it goes. Let's fix it in place first. Oh, there we go. And then we need this guard. We need to put that on before I put that on, I believe, from practicing yesterday. It's got a bit of water in it. Nope. This is really tough to get off. Let me. Yeah, put that bit on first. You're out of frame now, aren't you? So put that bit on first because that's the awkward bit. But just leave it hanging there while you put this on. Or am I wrong? Oh, let me try again, starting with that. No, I was wrong, sorry. Right, let's get the book out of the way. Now it needs to be used with polishing agent. So you need to use a polishing agent. Please purchase appropriate polishing agent before use. Well, Again, I was prepared. So I bought some of this. How do I put it on though? First of all, I don't know how runny this is or anything, so let me just do a bit on my mat over there. Or does it need a thingy? No. Ah, it's very creamy, so let me just maybe put little dots all around. It might be wasteful, I don't know. And then I guess I'll go up and down. Oh, that might, will that be in the way? That is going to get in the way. So if I go up and down like that until I hit that, then do the other side. Let me just kind of measure. So up to there. I should be able to just about to reach all the way into the middle when I've done both sides. Okay, here we go. Oh, oh my God. Now this is awkward because the handle's gonna keep hitting my work surface, so, and I can't turn it that way again, otherwise I'm not going to get this side. So I haven't pressed it down hard enough. Right, give that a wipe off. Right, I've given that a wipe over. I'll just dry it off. It wasn't looking good, to be honest. I'm a bit worried. Oh, Ina. Well, this is not taken as long as I expected it to take, so hopefully you won't get kicked out again, because we're not going to be much longer now unless people start asking questions. If anybody's got any questions after I've finished, I'm quite happy to answer what I can. Now that's not looking too brilliant, to be honest. Let me try it again, this time putting the cream onto the piece. There we go, mopped up all the expelled cream. I've not pressed it down properly again. No, I've run out. I'm not quite getting into the middle. I wonder, there is a screw there. I wonder whether you can bring this further out. Let me... Right, I am trying to see whether I can bring the polishing pad further out so that I can push my coaster further that way. And there is, I'm not quite sure how to hold it to do it. I'm trying to screw this to go back flush against that. But where do I hold it? Because that is fixed to that. I'm going to take it all apart and have a look. See, how do I get that to go flush with that? Or can I not? Has it got to be up there? Right. Is it going to wobble about too much if I just leave it like that? This is what you get for choosing an awkward shape coaster, isn't it? No harm in trying. Right, let's... It doesn't seem to be spinning as fast. It needs that. It needs to be flush up there to get the spin. Yeah. Never mind. Worth a try. Right. Let's try and get this finished. Get this. I'm just going all over in all sorts of directions now, aren't I? Right, okay. Oh, hello, McFoo-foo. Right, okay. I'm actually a bit disappointed. So, is it me doing something wrong? Any of you who have used this, if I have done something wrong, please explain for me. Obviously, not all of you will be on this live chat, but if anybody sees the replay and knows what I've done wrong, let me know. But that is still looking a bit cloudy in patches to me. Is it just my fault having difficulties getting it because of it being an awkward shape, it butting up against the edge there, so I'm not getting it all over smooth? I mean, it's an obvious improvement, but it's just got a slight cloudiness to it. So if you know, I'd be grateful. But obviously I'm still really impressed with the sanding capabilities of it, and if I end up just having to top coat instead of polish, that's fine. So I'll still use it and I'll get more practiced at it, and maybe I'll figure it out for myself anyway. So let's just do the final test. This is non-drying clay, by the way. I'll just be watching chat while I flatten this out again. take the machine off the stand, rub the polish into the polishing wheel. Okay, let me just give that a quick try. Thank you, Fufu. So you mean just do it like that? Oh, hello, Tracy. You are horrendously late. I've almost finished. Tracy, I was just saying that I'm not impressed with the polishing aspect. It's still cloudy, but McFufu's just given me a tip. I don't know if you can see. It's still a cloudy effect. I'll take a photo. Just take a quick photo and then I'll explain again for Tracy's benefit. My lighting is not brilliant for showing the cloudiness. I'll take a little video and then I can do different angles. Actually, that's a good photo. Right, so if I can attach that when it goes into replay mode, I will do. But yeah, Tracy, I was having difficulty because of the shape of this coaster and the size of the coaster with that butting up against the side there. And then I'd go there, but it didn't quite reach to the middle. So I was having to mess about with trying to get it polished all over. But McFufu has suggested I do it handheld. Right, okay, let's give it a go. Oh. Really awkward on the edges, isn't it? Some car polishes. Oh, I have car polish. The polish I'm using I bought off Amazon. Resin Pro epoxy polish. Polishing is an art, takes time, lots of patience. Maybe so. It certainly seems that way, but as I say, I'm still impressed with the sanding capabilities of it. It's still a useful piece of kit. Yeah, it's still cloudy. Okay, I'll figure it out at some point, I'm sure. Right, again, let's get back to softening this clay again to do the final test. That would be good, yeah, Tracy, if they did a round polish mop. One thing I'd like to ask them to do is for that to be able to be pulled out further. Because I did unscrew it and pull the thing out, but then you can't push that down to hold it in place again. And then it doesn't spin as well. It doesn't have its spinability. So I'd like to be able to adjust that to maybe come out that far. Final hand polish, quick rub with a cloth. Don't think I have a clean cloth handy, but maybe try it later. And again, if I can attach a photo. But Tracy, when you do live streams and then it goes to replay, can you then edit it to add in photos? Right, is that big enough? Just about. Right, okay, so the final test. I wish I should have taken a photo of the pre-sanding imprint, shouldn't I? Oh, too much hindsight. Okay, but you can always rewind to beginning if you want to do a quick comparison. Stand up to give myself some leverage again. Sorry, I'm knocking camera. Okay. So, no gold leaf imprints. And down the side, this isn't exact science. I might have pressed harder in one area than another compared to the first time I did the imprint. But obviously, there is still a definite improvement. And this was, I wish I'd have been prepared with just a normal rubbish coaster. But for those of you that weren't here at the beginning, this coaster had the brown section was raised because I had barriered it to make a coffee cup looking like coffee, sort of. And so the outer clear edge was not filled. So this was a few millimeters higher than the clear. The idea being that then I would do another clear layer and let it flood coat across the top. So there was an obvious difference in the height between the brown and the clear. And I have managed to completely flatten it at this side. But again, that is due to me not being even all around. Clearly it can sand even at only the 100 grit. I didn't use 60 or 80. Clearly it can easily shave away millimeters of resin in a couple of minutes. So yeah, I don't know if you can tell compared to previous. It's just lovely. Right, okay. I think that'll do. Thanks for listening to my rambling. Yes, it does. Thank you, Tina. So, thank you all for joining me. Did anybody have any questions? I'll wait a couple of minutes to see if anybody does have any questions. Again, I bought this through Amazon UK. I have put the link in the description, but it's shipped from Amazon US. So there's no proper plug for it, but it is USB-C chargeable. The price at the moment is 110 with free delivery. Well, I'm on Prime, so if you're not on Prime, it might not be free delivery. So check that. £110 at the moment in the UK, and it was 106 at the time I bought it. So it's as always with Amazon, prices vary slightly week to week. No problem, Tracy. Thank you. Right. Thank you very much. If anybody does think of anything after the fact, pop it in the comments in the replay. Normal comments section, and I'll answer anything I can after the fact. Thank you for modding, Tina. Have a good trip. Okay. Thanks, everyone. Right, how do I end this stream? Bye, everyone.